Hi, I'm Steven Ramirez with Beyond the Arc, and I'm here with Tyler McIntyre from Novo, and we're going to have a great conversation about challenger banks here in the United States. All right, Tyler, that's the preview. Challenger banks in the United States, why do we need one?
Well, if you look at kind of like what's happening across the sea, it's challenger banks are popping up all over Europe, right? But in the United States, it still hasn't really, spread as much as it has over there. And that's just due to kind of the increased regulatory burden of actually creating one of these challenger banks. And with that burden, if you look at kind of like what that's done to community banks or smaller banks, 2,500 of them have disappeared either through consolidation, acquisition, or closures since Dodd-Frank. We don't have one, FCA to kind of help fintechs kind of navigate the regulatory environment. So a lot of the innovation that you see kind of overseas hasn't really kind of come here. And for consumers, like what that's doing is you have not a great banking experience, right? If you look at kind of the most hated brands in America, most of the top 10 are financial industries.
Now they're improving, right?
Yeah.
I think that was definitely true a few years ago, but banks have been trying, but I think that do you feel like they're still falling short?
The issue is that, a large ship takes a long time to turn, right? And so, even the innovation teams that a lot of them have set up, relatively successfully and have tried different things like, Fin or, investing in sub-brands like BBVA and Simple. You see this innovation kind of happening much quicker.
Yeah.
But technology companies that are coming up with no legacy software, quick, coming to market and really focused on one industry are able to kind of deliver value much quicker to a smaller subset of their users. And big banks, they're innovating and they're creating better mobile experiences, but it still hasn't, been able to really go head to head against a fintech.
Yeah, now I've argued that it requires a culture of innovation in the organization. You can't just like sort of dabble with innovation. You've got to be all in. Is that an approach that you take? Do you feel like you've sort of built a company that's all in on innovation?
Yeah, we definitely don't hire, people with the incumbent mindset of, let's just do banking. But if you take like what fintech is, essentially you have a bunch of tech people learning fin, right? And then with banks, you have a bunch of fin people learning tech. And it's really an interesting kind of component because it's two kind of really different mindsets and mantras. It's move fast and break things as a technology company. And the other one is like move slowly and take 100% of the shots accurately because any miss shot here could be detrimental to the company as a whole. And then you have fintech where it's like you merge these two mindsets into it. And the real question is, are fintechs going to be able to acquire critical mass faster than banks are able to change mindsets internally to become innovative?
So tell me a little bit about Novo. So what's your traction like? Where are you going? Give us an idea of the company itself.
Sure. So we are a digital banking platform that sits on top of community banks. So rather than going to the Bancorp or a lot of these other partner banks, what we've done is we found a really good opportunity to work with community banks in order to lower their cost of deposits. And so what we do is we kind of put our platform that sits on top of these partner banks and we focus on the SMB market, right? The SME market in the United States is highly underserved. There's really a huge emergence of different businesses coming out every day. And that's everybody from the 1099 economy and moving into kind of realizing that they're a graduated entrepreneur. And also the existing businesses who are saying, hey, I need something in between a commercial banking solution and a personal account. And that's where we fit in.
So do you have partnerships with community banks?
We do. So we just announced our partnership with Middlesex Federal Savings, which is a community bank in Boston. So that's our bank partner that we are issuing FDIC insured bank accounts through on our platform.
Excellent. And so is there an opportunity to work with other community banks or regional banks?
Yeah, absolutely. So, because what we're looking to do is become like that value layer, that technology layer that sits on top of it, we believe that banks are really good at doing what they know best. That's banking, that's regulation, that's understanding a lot of this stuff. And we're supplementing a lot of the information that we have with banking with the experience of a community bank that's been doing it for a century. Which has been able to get us very quickly into market and kind of also navigate this minefield of banking and digital banking and seeing things. How do they do it in the branch, and how do we bring that online?
So Tyler, one last question for you. There's been a lot of conversation here at Finovate around artificial intelligence, machine learning, advanced analytics. Wondering if those are pieces of your puzzle at all.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So obviously we're always doing things on the back end of looking at fraud and things like that. We're using those types of technologies, but we want to expose that to the consumer too. And we believe in the future that there's going to be an invisible banking layer, right, where businesses immediately get an exchange of value. Right? And so whether that's optimizing cash flow and understanding, oh great, let's sweep this into a high yield account and bring it out before 2 days before payroll gets pulled, or if that's just sending a smart alert to the user saying, hey, just let you know, you're spending more than average on X category. We're definitely going to be exposing a lot of that kind of AI and insights to those business owners so they can spend more time in the front office.
Excellent. And so if people want to find out more, what's your website, or you're on Twitter? How do they track you down?
Yeah, so if you just hit up banknovo.com. That's kind of our that's my website. And my email is just Tyler@banknovo, so feel free to reach out.
Excellent. Great. Well, Tyler, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.